All right, testing. Welcome everyone to our Planning Commission meeting. Today is February 12th, 2026, and let me see, sorry. And I call the meeting to order at 9 a.m. And so that we can begin, can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
One nation, indivisible.
And can we get verification of legal notice? Thank you. And we do have one item in our consent agenda, which is the election of chair and vice chair. So if anybody would like to start with nominations?
Yes, I would like to nominate Everardo to be chair and Sharon Zoller to be vice chair.
I don't think I can be the chair.
I will second.
I don't think it's allowed to be chair 2 rows in a consecutive terms.
The bylaws don't set a term limit or issues with, anyone can make a recommendation. Historically, the Planning Commission and the board have had sort of internal processes where they give everybody an opportunity to sit as chair, and they would go in order, but that's not absolutely necessary, and as far as I recall, it's not in the bylaws.
I would like to respectfully decline.
Okay, I would like to nominate Sharon Zoller as chair and Everardo as vice chair.
Second.
Sounds good. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
I was happy with the first. You were just getting good at it. All right. Thank
Okay.
you.
So is that a yay?
Oh, yes, okay,
Okay.
yes,
All
thank
right.
you.
Motion passes. So we'll go ahead and swap seats.
Oh. Can we just swap tags? Or is that a special seat? Oh, it's a hot seat.
I concur with Chair Zoller now. Chair Chavez has done an excellent job.
Yeah, excellent.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor of that?
Did we get the names swapped? Feels strange being on this side.
I think it's downhill there. All right, thank you. Okay, so, so we're on the consent agenda? No, we just, public input. So public input, may come up for 3 minutes and make reference to anything that's not on the agenda. And you step up and please give your name before you start. Anybody in the room? Anybody online? All right, thank you. We'll close public input. So the first item that we have is for 9:05. Are we?
We have probably 30 seconds left.
Go ahead and start. 9:04. Okay. So this is to bring 3 parcels into compliance with the existing industrial general plan designation in the Kelseyville area plan and the airport land use compatibility located at 4325, 4375, and 4425 Highland Springs Road, Lakeport, California, APN 008-031-20, 008-031-44, and 008-031-17.
Good morning, Commissioners and Madam Chair. Mary Claiborne, Senior Planner, Community Development Department. Today, we are going to be reviewing a zoning map amendment. This is initiated by the Community Development Department for the property owners, Donald and Diane Duker and Timothy Cooper. This would amend the zoning map for the subject properties. The general plan land use designations for these parcels were updated to industrial within the 2008 general plan. However, the map was not amended at that time for the zoning. The purpose of the proposed zoning map amendment is to correct the zoning district of these parcels to reflect the PDC, Plan Development Commercial Base Zoning District, consistent with the 2008 General Plan's Land Use Industrial designation. There have been some green sheets provided to you. This includes the Board of Supervisors Resolution 2008-166 that identifies the action that was adopted at that time. This is available online at the County of Lake website and has been provided to the Commission. And there's also within your attachments the Planning Commission resolution for recommendation of approval for this to the board. The project area is located adjacent to the Lamson Field Airport, approximately 4.94 miles south of the Lakeport Community Growth Boundary and approximately 2.29 miles west of the Kelseyville Community Growth Boundary. These parcels are adjacent to Lamson Field as seen on the map here. The general plan land use designation for the parcels were updated to industrial within the 2008 general plan. You can see the parcels that are highlighted with stars there. The land use designation for general plan is industrial at these three parcels at this time. The current zoning designation for these parcels is agriculture. The purpose of the proposed zoning map amendment is to correct the zoning district of the parcels to reflect PDC, Plan Development Commercial Base Zoning, consistent with the 2008 General Plan Industrial Land Use Designation. The exhibit map provided by the Dukers indicates the proposed zoning amendment for the project parcels to Plan Development Commercial Zoning. At this stage, no development is being proposed with this map amendment. Should zoning be amended to PDC, Plan Development Commercial, any subsequent project proposals would be required to undergo a separate California Environmental Quality Act review. The regulations reviewed for compliance include the Lake County General Plan, the Kelseyville Area Plan, the Lake County Airport Land Use Compatibility Plan, and the Lake County Zoning Ordinance. Within the general plan analysis, the proposed rezone of the parcels north of the airport to Plan Development Commercial is consistent with the 2008 General Plan's EIR and the noted implementation policies identified within the EIR. In accordance with the proposed PDC zoning district, future development would be reviewed through the use permit process to ensure compatibility with surrounding uses, the Airport Land Use Compatibility Plan, and CEQA. Within the EIR, there are two specific policies that relate to these project parcels. And this is actually a gem for planners when we're able to find something that is specific to project parcels within a general plan rather than it being a generality, a blueprint. Within these two parcels, these two policies, it identifies these parcels. The county shall promote compatible land use planning in areas surrounding the airport. Land uses should involve concentration of people and/or hazardous materials should not be developed in the approach pattern. Federal and state regulations governing operations and land use restrictions related to airports shall be supported by the county. In policy T 3.6 Lamson Field commercial development, the area along the north side of Lamson Field has been designated industrial on the land use map and may be considered for airport-related or airport-dependent industrial manufacturing development, provided the following criteria are met. Proposals include a rezone from A to PDC, along with general and specific plans of development. Development of sites includes construction of a north taxiway, which is offered for dedication to the county, and proposed structures and land uses are compatible with the airport land use compatibility plan. So with that, the first bullet point, proposals include rezone from A to PDC, is specifically what we are addressing today.
Thank you. Any questions for our planner? Questions from the board?
I'd like to hear from the public, but I have to have a pretty good reason to commit agriculture land to something else. I mean, once you take it out of ag, it will never return to ag, so. But I'd like to hear from the public first.
Okay, should I continue with the presentation?
Oh, pardon me, I thought you were completed.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
The current zoning is agriculture. This was not changed within the 2008 general plan. The proposed zoning PDC is consistent with the current general plan land use designation of industrial and is consistent with the surrounding properties in close proximity to the airport. The proposed PDC, plan development commercial zoning, does require specific plan of development should there be further development in the future. The CEQA analysis for this project was considered within the Environmental Impact Report, the EIR, for the 2008 General Plan Update. The EIR notes that it will be used as a first-tier environmental document for subsequent environmental reviews. The General Plan is a self-mitigating document, and the EIR incorporated policies and implementation measures to address potential impacts. General Plan policies T3.2 and T3.6 pertain specifically to the project parcels located north of Lamson Airport. This zoning map correction is based on the information contained within the EIR in accordance with Title 14, Division 6, Article 11, Section 15162 of the California Code of Regulations, and no development is proposed as a part of this project. Future development would be subject to additional CEQA review. Recommendations. That the Planning Commission take the following actions. Determine that the proposed zoning map amendment was analyzed within the 2008 General Plan FEIR with the findings in the staff report. Recommend that the Board of Supervisors adopt the zoning map amendment PL 25-101 with the findings in the staff report. And that concludes my presentation, and I am available for questions and comments.
A question on the CEQA. When was that done?
That was done with the 2008 General Plan.
Thank you.
If I could just add a little bit of context as well. The commission is familiar right now with the Lake County 2050 project that we're doing, and saw an update that came for the changes in land use designation to the general plan, which was done early on in the Lake County 2050 process. By law, after those land use designations are changed, we have to update our zoning map to reflect the citizens' vision for the land use designations, which goes through the general plan process. This one was overlooked. So in essence, what we're doing is we're actually just coming into compliance with state law to be in compliance with the citizens' visioning process that took place with the 2008 general plan. Similar to how after Lake County 2050, general plan update is adopted by the board, we will go into a comprehensive zoning map update at that time to make sure that all the many changes that took place through this process, the general plan update process, are reflected then in the zoning map. So this is pretty much a housekeeping to come into compliance with law that we should have done about 18 years ago.
So what if we don't?
If you don't, I will start looking into ways to make sure that you're actually necessary, because it would mean that you're telling us that we should be out of compliance with state law. And you're also saying we should not follow the community's vision of 2008. However, a note of encouragement, since I do know that it is a very strong concern of taking land out of agriculture, we are going into the public review period for the Lake County 2050 documents, and we will be starting again our big round of LAPAC and GPAC meetings at that time. Should the group decide that, should the Kelseyville LAPAC decide that they want to change it back, that would go before the board, but I would note that I would assume there would be property owner disagreement with that. We have been collecting property owner input on recommended land use designation changes, and so it would go, we could handle it that way should that LAPAC decide that they feel strongly enough that they want to change it back.
Quick question, Director. So if this were to pass the commission today, would that committee be able to change it before it gets?
They could. They didn't. We had land use designation maps when we did our first round of LAPAC meetings, and there was no concern voiced at this time with that map.
Thank you.
I have a concern that, that in perhaps in some of those discussions of which I was present, that wasn't fully explained, or probably fully understood.
Well, you know, at that time, we didn't realize that we were in error just on the zoning map. The general plan land use designation map would have been accurate, but we didn't go over every single parcel. You know, we were taking communities visioning, what are our priorities, what should we look at, but I would not have taken you through every single parcel, though there was this strong conversation, if you remember, about identifying more land for industrial use. Remember, we were focusing on the old Granite property. They were talking about keeping that in industrial, looking for additional ways where we could get service commercial and industrial uses in the Kelseyville planning area.
I do remember there was some conversation, but I don't believe any decision was made, just that it was a topic of conversation. So, I went back to the earlier question, if we put this on hold because these plans we're on the cusp of getting them. Are they not ready, going to be ready the end of this month or beginning of next month?
Well, in essence, then the commission would be saying we choose to continue out of compliance with state law. I'm not sure about the liabilities. I would defer to county council regarding that, because this is something that should have been done a long time ago and really wasn't up to any discretion at that point. The time would have been during the 2008 general plan update.
It just seems like we have an opportunity to just say, let's just wait, what, a month, 6 weeks before the committees look at the plans. And this is now in the Kelseyville area plan, am I understanding?
Yes.
I know that there were a couple of pieces at one point that were they going to be in Kelseyville, were they going to be in the Lakeport district? So it's now part of Kelseyville. It seems to me that it's been 18 years, perhaps, just a little more time to have a little more thoughtful conversation. Since there's not a pending project, is there any, and I understand about compliance, but I'm just wondering, is there at all any flexibility to have a greater conversation about that it is designated ag land, and is that what the full...
Though I also want to mention to the commission, although there is no pending project, we would not have been able to take in a project until this was fixed. So the fact that there's no pending project is secondary to the fact that we would have had to do this in the first place before we could accept any pending projects. This came to our attention when the property owner was looking for options for his parcel, and that's when he brought it to our attention that this was an error. So that's why we're correcting our error. I would assume, even though there's no pending project, there are thoughts for pending projects.
Okay. Well, let's open it up. Do you have another question?
No, I feel like this seems like a procedural issue, and I can't vote against my conscience regardless. So I just want to make that clear, and I do think we should take the opportunity, since there are people in the audience and possibly online, to entertain a discussion.
So I'll open it for public input if you step
Yeah.
forward.
I think, wait,
We were just discussing procedural, so I could offer you the option, should the planning commission decide to not take a position of recommendation, it would just go on to the board.
To the Board of Supervisors.
Madam Chair.
Yeah.
I would think that a no recommendation effectively would fall in a similar category as a non-recommendation would fall in a similar category of no recommendation. If your commission chooses not to recommend, it would still go to the board regardless, and the board would then it would be explained to the board the error that occurred, and then they would be asked to make this decision. The analysis, the CEQA review, and the decision related to this particular ask have all been done, and they were done a number of years ago. We're not asking that they be undone, and in reality, your planning commission cannot undo those decisions. If there are concerns with this particular process from 2008, you can certainly give direction to staff about how that's going to play out in the upcoming general plan amendment and what that's going to look like in relation to the changes offered there. But I know it seems odd, but effectively they're asking just that we clean up the record for this particular property, and in order for the staff to take any action to do that, they do in fact have to ask the Planning Commission and the board for a formal decision, because they don't have authority to do it themselves. So they can't just change maps. There needs to be something that's from a decision maker in writing that in the record that says that they can.
Thank you. Open up to public comment. Step forward. You have 3 minutes. Please state your name before you start speaking.
Good morning. My name is Don Duker. One of the property owners. I didn't realize this was going to be likely to be contentious. This is property we've had for 40 years, Tim and I. We were involved in some litigation with the county 40 years ago, 1998 through 2000. The change in the zoning here was a result of litigation and negotiation and commitments made on both parts. It was changed in the general plan. It was my understanding that it had been rezoned. It was identified on the GIS maps as commercial property. There are some other issues there. We have an easement on county property to access the runway, and a deeded encroachment permit to the runway. It was a simple matter of fairness that we thought this was all settled a long time ago. When it became clear that it wasn't, again, it was my understanding that state law requires the zoning to match the general plan. The general plan was settled. I would ask you out of fairness, just to adhere to the stuff that happened a long time ago. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. Margot Kambara. New information has come to light this morning, and I believe it's truly in your purview as commissioners to ask for a continuance. This is an important decision that you're making that will affect the future of our county. When we are committed, as residents, we have voiced our opinion and our values many times. We value agricultural lands. We value rural lands. We value open spaces. For the first time, I heard of the landowner's situation, and I have great sympathy for his situation. And yes, we should abide by legal agreements and negotiations. We should. But this situation has gone on for 20 years, and it shouldn't fall on your backs to make it right this morning. I believe we have, as Commissioner Field mentioned, we have an opportunity to do right for the county for the next 20 years, and then 20 years after that. So please, Commissioners, I ask you, let's take a pause and take a look at the evidence. We're not, I won't say we, it's not a matter of continuing out of compliance. It's a matter of doing right. Is the paperwork correct? Do we have the documentation that shows that this rezoning was approved 20 years ago? And if not, well, then we're back at square one. It's still zone ag. And unfortunately for the landowner, the agreements made with the county, well, that still needs to be sorted out. But we're talking about good of the community, the good of Lake County. I sent you an email this morning. I was going to go over the highlights of it, but the new information that we received during this meeting on this agenda item, wow, that just blows my points to second and third tier. But what I will bring up is the request contradicts land use recommendations in Lake County Plan, such as a Kelseyville area plan. The local area plan does not reference this approval, did not reference this legal case and this understanding with the landowner that it was going to be rezoned industrial, et cetera, et cetera. Now, our Kelseyville area plan reveals the priority again for area residents, and intentionally in the area plan says there are parcels that are zoned agricultural, even though they are too small for productive agriculture. And that is to, quote, prevent incompatible development that may adversely affect existing or potentially viable agriculture operations, end quote. I had other points, but please refer to my email and please consider a continuation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chair Zoller,
Yes, ma'am.
if I may, I would strongly recommend that the Planning Commission advance this to the board, either with a recommendation or without, since the board was originally involved in that decision, as well as the board did take a look at the Kelseyville area plan update, as well as the agricultural update that the agricultural update was part of the general plan update in 2008. Kelseyville area plan update came later, and all of those went through the appropriate public review and vetting, and planning commission and board review and vetting. So it would be our recommendation at this time that even if the planning commission wishes to voice concerns, that we just forward this to the board for their consideration.
I think public comment is still open, right?
Sorry, say that one more time.
I believe public comment is still open.
Yes, it is. So is there anybody in the on the Zoom room? Thank you.
Morning, this is Donna Makowitz from Clear Lake Oaks. Thank you for the opportunity to comment on this. The Lake County residents consistently express that we value our rural setting and small town character, and I don't recall these parcels being specifically mentioned in the past area plan meetings. And there's other things that have kind of come to mind, like who made the request for the tribal comments, and what was the follow-up to ensure the request was received? And was that to Big Valley and Scotts Valley? And could you confirm that you had correct contacts? It seems unusual that we had no tribal comments at all. And for this reason, I just respect that the commission consider postponing action until documentation related to the prior rezoning approval is publicly available. There's no specific development proposal accompanying the request, so the public can't really evaluate whether future uses would be compatible. And like it was just mentioned, it has been many years, so a couple of weeks won't really matter for compliance. And my comments are offered in support of prudent planning, transparency, and preservation of community character. And the residents clearly value that. So thank you for letting me comment.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Okay.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Kate Schmidt-Hopper. I live in District 1, so this doesn't have immediate impact on me or land close to me. However, planned development commercial and the measures that were indicated in the slide talked about avoiding congregation of people in the areas in this new zoning. So I am very, very curious as to what sorts of development, whether you're calling it industrial or planned development commercial, what sort of projects could possibly even go there? And perhaps Ms. Turner could edify us on that, because that has an extreme impact on whether or not this should be going forward. I support Donna's comments regarding tribal input, and I support Margot's comments, both of whom added in that a continuance sounds important, since there was information about this proposal that has not been transparent to the public. And thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you. Is there anyone else online? Thank you.
Good morning, Commission. Kyle Bill Lakeport. I'm more concerned about the impacts that we will feel procedurally if this kind of process is able to take place. I agree. I think there should be some further review. As a commission, you have the duty to ensure that all of your decisions are being made with full understanding and due process. My worry is that things that are overlooked, and then there's a sense of urgency to act without due process, is setting a very dangerous precedent. And I believe that you guys should be making decisions that are fully informed and confident in your decision before passing it on to anyone else to have to do. I mean, you guys are the first layer of making sure things are being done in the appropriate manner. This kind of seems to me to be, I sit on the general plan for the 2050. My concern from the beginning is been the sense that everything kind of feels there's not enough time to do things properly. And that's kind of concerning to me, because if this was something that kind of got overlooked during the 2008 planning, is this a reoccurring theme? And I'm not saying that that's due to anyone's direct negligence. It could be due to the limited staffing, but I think it highlights the need to be more focused and being more intentional in the work that we're doing, and making sure that we are giving adequate time and attention to certain things that are going to be very impactful for us as a county collectively. So I just want to say I agree. I believe that maybe there should be a continuance to give the commission ample time to look at all the situations, not just for this decision, but also looking at how do we prevent this from happening? Is this going to be something that we have to deal with in the future? So I just wanted to express that it is a little bit concerning if you guys were to push this off to the Board of Supervisors. I think that you all should maybe look at how we can correct this now. And I just wanted to say thank you all for your time, and I would be in support of a continuance.
Thank you. Is there anyone else before we close public input from the audience here who wants to speak? All right, thank you. We'll close.
Madam
Your
Chair.
comment? Oh, pardon, yeah.
Here. So just as a quick overview, to attempt to try and clear this up. Normally, when this sort of thing is brought before your commission, you are asked to review other things along with it. CEQA, any kinds of other changes like the general plan amendment. There's a plethora of decisions that are made along with it. And that is what happened in 2008. That was presented to the commission at the time, and then they went through the process, and then it went to the board for the board's approval at that stage. What's brought to you today is sort of a truncated version because all of those other decisions have already been made. Your planning commission does not have authority to undo them. So the decision you are being asked to make today is in that sphere. So it's with that evidence in front of you. The general plan amendment has been adopted in 2008. The CEQA was completed in 2008 and adopted. That included tribal consultations, I presume, at the time. And so those steps have been completed. The decision you're making now is in relation to that information rather than asking you to review that information and make a decision of whether or not on each of those approvals. We're asking that you make this decision with those approvals already in place. So that is the record that you are making your decision. That's the record in front of you for making this decision. So effectively, what we're asking is that you look at the prior approvals from 2008 and determine whether or not this fits into that sphere, that those approvals. And staff has explained that this was part of that plan and those approvals, and has asked that you recommend adoption of this change in light of those approvals. So we're not asking that you revisit, staff isn't asking that or recommending that you revisit those approvals because you cannot. You cannot undo the general plan amendment in 2008. If there was litigation and a court decision, you don't have authority to go against that decision. All of that is already set in stone, and there would be other entities that would have the authority to revisit that. This commission is not one of those entities. And so if you have questions related to whether or not, to those decisions, you can certainly ask those questions. You can ask for clarification as to how those decisions might play into the adoption or the recommendation or any adoptions or decisions you're being asked to make today. But you don't have the authority to revisit the 2008 general plan amendment. That's already been adopted.
I agree with staff's recommendation. I understand the state law and the procedure that we have to do today. But like it was recommended earlier that we can, how do you say it, to pass it on to the board to make that decision? What's the correct terminology for that?
You can ask for staff to clarify, but my understanding is the resolution you'd be asking, you're being asked to approve today is to recommend to the board that this rezone be approved. And staff can correct me if I'm wrong on that. That is correct. Mm. So ultimately, the final decision for this particular rezone is going to be with the board anyway. It will not be, the Planning Commission's decision will not be a final decision. You're just analyzing whether or not this particular rezone would fit into the 2008 general plan amendment and the decisions made in 2008.
So I have a question, and this is, again, a issue where everything doesn't seem quite out in the open. And so Earlier, Director Turner said that if we voted this down, that we would be voting the county out of compliance with state law. And so if we're doing that, are we already out of compliance with anything to do with the general plan from 2008? Because if we vote it down, how does it fall on us to be the ones out of compliance if this was never done in the first place?
Right, so ultimately, I can't speak for the director. However, as far as generally speaking, you, meaning the planning commission, are not the ones being out of compliance. It would be the county who is out of compliance, and what staff is recommending is that because this procedural step was not completed in 2008, the county has been out of compliance since then. And so staff's recommendation is, in light of all of the decisions made in 2008 and their natural sort of extension into adopting this zoning amendment, under state law that would require a zoning amendment action. And because that action wasn't taken, the county would effectively be potentially out of compliance. And if there is court action related to that change, at that time I haven't seen it, but if there is, the county could potentially be in violation of a court order if there was court action. But I'd have to see that to know for certain what that would be. But it wouldn't be your commission necessarily that is out of compliance. It would be the county's failure to complete the process. And that's what leads to an incompliance. And it leads to other liabilities related to that.
So what if we take no action today?
And we would move it forward to the board for their consideration with no action taken by the Planning Commission.
To me, that seems the appropriate thing to do. I don't think kicking it down the road is going to be in any way helpful. And we have new information presented today that needs to be considered by, I feel, a legislative body, not a judicial one.
So just for a moment of clarification, this process was completed in 2008. The Board of Supervisors put their stamp on it. Where's the glitch that we're looking at today? If it was all done.
This was missed when we updated the zoning map.
Okay.
So it wasn't part of that original project.
So when you say this,
Changing these parcels from ag to industrial was not included in the zoning maps that updated the rest of the county.
and where does that responsibility lie? After it's gone through the process,
It is firmly in the hands of community development to correct that error, which is what we are trying to do. It was our job to have got it done in the first place and did not realize that until Mr. Duker, the property owner, brought it to our attention that that had been inadvertently omitted from the zoning map update.
And statutorily, it's required that certain steps be taken in order to make that change. Those steps have to be done through whatever authority is granted to the Planning Commission and the board. And those are prerequisites in order to change, say, the maps officially and to record the zoning change. Any recordings with the assessor recorder would have to be would have to be official. We'd have to provide evidence of a decision. So the process to get that decision comes from the state, and this is the process that we're going through now in order to finalize that decision and formalize that decision, so that all of the other entities and agencies that rely on that decision can have it, in order for action to be so that the landowner can be also in compliance with what was adopted in 2008.
so maybe I'm repeating myself, but so it went through the process, it was approved. The clerical application of putting the changes on the maps was what hasn't happened, didn't happen.
Yes. Okay, let's just be really clear. The land use designation change was approved. That's part of the general plan update. Then after that, the department is supposed to do a comprehensive zoning code update so that the zoning districts and the overlays synchronize with the land use update map. Or the land use designation map. We've got two maps that sort of carry all the weight in planning. One is the land use designation map, which is the general plan, and then the other one is our zoning map, which is the ones that you see explained in our zoning code, like RL. What does RL mean? That's a zoning district. And by law, those have to synchronize and be the same, which is why the general plan update changes the land use designation map, but it doesn't do a zoning district map. That's what we're supposed to do afterwards, and that's what got skipped for these 3 parcels.
Okay, so that wasn't completed.
Exactly.
I would like to commend staff for taking this on and being transparent about it. It couldn't have been fun. I would like to respectfully suggest that we move to the next item.
So what is the process for us to demur and move it forward?
Correct. So an item is on the floor, it is before your commission. Someone would bring a vote, either a vote to deny or a vote to approve the action recommended by staff. And then if there is a motion to approve and it fails, then it can go to the board with no recommendation. If there is a vote to deny and it passes, it can go to the board without a recommendation. Also and if it votes to deny and that fails, then it can go to the board without a recommendation. And if there is a motion to approve and it passes, it can go to the board with a recommendation of approval and the resolution.
How about a motion for no recommendation? Can we do that like?
I think
Do they have to take action? I know, so can they just by consensus, hey, we're done with this one? So they can move to take no action. Sorry, we're just getting this figured out.
That's right,
for you.
this is unusual, we want to get good clarity. It seems like whatever motion we make, it's going to go to the Board of Supervisors.
Yes.
That's correct. Just a point of clarification, we got some new information that was shared with us this morning. Was this situation adjudicated back before the turn of the century, in the 1990s?
In our department, we took a look at the general plan land use map, and that was good enough for us. So because it was changed in the general plan, that's enough for us. We didn't need the background judgment. We will include that when we go to the Board of Supervisors, since it's pertinent. But for planning, if the land use designation changes, the zoning district needs to change. So ours is a very simple process.
Okay, so one more time on our options, please.
there would be a motion either to approve staff's recommendation or a motion to deny staff's recommendation.
I move that we table this item until we have clarity on whether we have to take action or not. I do not have that clarity right now.
The Planning Commission procedurally doesn't have a procedure to not act. But if you give me a break, if Madam Chair, you call a break, we can check the bylaws and Rosenberg's rules to see if there's something that addresses that.
All right, why don't we take a break for 10 minutes, and we'll come back at 10 o'clock. Thank you. All right, thank you. We are back from our break. Where we left off was getting a bit of clarification on the motions that we could entertain to put forward.
Yes, thank you. County Council did review Rosenberg's rules, Robert's rules, and our bylaws, and we currently don't have anything that says you can take no action. So what we thought was you could take an action or make a motion to advance the item to the Board of Supervisors with no recommendation. Then you're taking action and not taking action at the same time.
Thank you.
I so move.
Second.
All right, so we're clear what we're voting on? We are voting on to,
Advancing the item
Advancing
to
the
the
item.
Board of Supervisors with no recommendation from the PC.
okay. We had a motion, we had a second. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much for your presentation. We will move on to our next item. It was scheduled for 9:20. And this is consideration of a use permit PL 2551/UP 2417 for conversion of temporary staff RVs to short-term guest rental units, Creekside Caravans at Harbin Hot Springs located at 1842-2 Harbin Springs Road, Middletown, 95461, APN 013000924. And so we have a presentation.
Hi, good morning, Commissioners and Chair Zoller. How are you today? How do I get this? Okay. Today we're presenting to you the Harbin Hot Springs Creekside Caravans, PL 2551, located at 18424 Harbin Springs Road in Middletown. The applicants are present in the room today. The project as proposed, there are 15 existing recreational vehicles from temporary staff housing to permanent commercial guest short-term rentals, also known as Creekside Caravan Project. The RVs are situated on a previously disturbed site that already possesses essential utility infrastructure, including septic, sewer, water, and electricity. The project is located approximately 2.1 miles northwest of the Middletown Community Growth Boundary, approximately 1.85 miles east of California State Highway 175. The location is tucked back in the hills, away from any neighbors, and within the existing Harbin Hot Springs Resort. The current zoning designations is Planned Development Commercial, Design Review, and Waterway Combining District. The general plan is Commercial Resort and Resource Conservation. It is in the Middletown Communities Area Plan and within the Supervisor District 1. Here's a little site description. This picture is from their website. This shows all of the existing infrastructure that is currently located on the property. The Creekside Caravans were previously approved as temporary staff housing for the Valley Fire rebuild efforts. This permit will allow the RVs to remain with the change of use as guest and member overnight accommodations. The necessary utility systems are already installed. No new development is proposed. The project property is already developed with numerous resort-type buildings, including, but not limited to, Harbin domes, a solar canopy, changing rooms, a water treatment plant, the main side, which is a hot pool, cooled plunge pool, a warm pool, heart pool, main side sun, deck, sauna and steam rooms, the village, which includes a market, cafe, the Harbin Temple, and guest services, the hotel, which is currently under construction, a restaurant, which is currently under construction, spa services, a Serenity Chapel, and Grove Cottages. So it's pretty much developed. And this is a current picture of the RV Creekside Caravans. The project was analyzed for regulations reviewed for compliance with the Lake County General Plan, the Middletown Area Plan, and the Lake County Zoning Ordinance. The Harbin Hot Springs directly advances the Lake County General Plan, Chapter 3, Land Use and Policies of the General Plan by bolstering a diverse year-round recreation and tourism economy. As a historic destination operating since 1856, that resort aligns with policies and by providing upscale multi-day lodging that attracts high-income visitors. The proposed repurposing of the Creekside Caravans further expands the resort's capacity and amenities, strengthening the local tax base and providing stable employment opportunities for the community. The project fully aligns with the Middletown Area Plan by prioritizing public safety and economic growth. The Harbin Hot Springs remains committed to Objective 4.3.1, which is fire safety, maintaining compliance with California Public Resource Code 4290 fire safe regulations, including upgraded water mains, hydrants, and a comprehensive evacuation plan developed in coordination with the South Lake County Fire Protection District. Regarding economic development, the resort serves as a cornerstone of local tourism and employment. By offering diverse amenities from organic dining to workshop facilities, Harbin successfully draws multi-day visitors to the area. Furthermore, the resort is a vital local employer. Currently, 100% of its estimated 108 employees reside in Lake County, directly supporting the community's long-term economic stability and reducing out-of-county commuting. The project is in compliance with Article 15, Plan Development Commercial, Article 41, Performance Standards, Article 43, Mobile Home Park, Recreation Vehicle Park, and Campground Standards, and Article 53, Design Review Combining District. The AB 52 process was not required for this project because it qualifies for exemption from further CEQA review. However, a courtesy notification of this project was sent out to the Middletown Rancheria. The tribe responded on November 26, 2024, that they had no concerns with the RV project. The environmental analysis for the California Environmental Quality Act was a categorical exemption under California Code of Regulations, Title 14, Division 6, Chapter 3, Section 15301, Class 1 under existing facilities. Operation of existing facilities. The project consists of the continued operation of existing RV units currently located on site. As these units are already in place, the request represents a standard permitting of existing land use rather than the introduction of new environmental stressors. No expansion of use. The proposal involves no expansion of the existing use beyond that which currently exists. There are no additional units, increased floor area, or physical extension of the project boundaries proposed that would result in new environmental footprints. Existing infrastructure. All necessary supporting infrastructure, including utilities and access ways, are already installed and currently serving the site. No new construction of significant ground disturbing activities are required to maintain the current level of service, and no insignificant impacts. Based on the current site conditions and the as-is nature of the application, there is no reasonable possibility that the activity will have a significant impact on the environment. Staff recommendations. The environmental recommendation is for the categorical exemption from CEQA under the California Code Regulations, Title 14, Division 6, Chapter 3, Article 19, Section 15301, Class 1 for existing facilities, and the major use permit recommendations is to approve use permit PL-25-51 with the proposed conditions of approval and with the findings listed in the staff report. And that concludes my presentation today, and I'm here for any questions or comments. And the applicant is also available if you have any questions or comments for them.
Thank you.
Quick, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. Just a quick question. So the temporary staff RVs, the RVs are staying in place. They're just turning from staff to short-term rentals?
Correct. They were approved with the zoning permit for temporary use whenever the resort was lost in the Valley Fire.
Right.
And so now they just would like to keep them.
Okay. And so no new structures are supposed to be coming in. There's still going to be the same RVs.
Yes.
Okay, so it's just for the use.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
It's changing the use.
I have a question. Attachment 3 is a letter from Gary Wright, Codes and Standards Administrator. And he says they'll require 2 sets of as-built plans showing the entire utility system and infrastructure, and they need to be stamped by a licensed professional. Has that been done?
That is a requirement for a state agency, because once this is approved, or if this body does approve this, then the oversight will be through the state of California.
Okay.
That is something that they will have to do after this decision is made today.
Okay, thank you.
Let me open up to public comment. Any from the room? Is there anyone online? No. Any last call from the public input?
Specific questions. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. All right, then I will close public comment. I just have a question. Actually, at the Board of Supervisors on Tuesday, there was a conversation about short-term rentals and low-impact camping to work on various regulations or procedures for the county. This request is not impacted by that process that's not quite
Correct.
completed.
Correct. Yeah, that is entirely a parallel process. This is already an established resort.
Okay, thank you for that clarification.
I did have one question for staff in the conditions of approval. Under Section D, Community Development Department, Building Division Compliance, number 5, prior to building permit final, the permit holder shall adhere to 2016 California Fire Code. Is that the latest fire code that we have?
No, it's not. But at the time that a lot of these conditions of approval, there's been several different use permits over the years throughout the process of this resort. These are ones that were adopted in 2016 for their specific plan of development. So a lot of these conditions are carrying forward from those existing conditions that are still applicable today. So since those conditions were adopted in 2016, that's what we're carrying over with. It's up to, do we need to update those?
No, I think we're comfortable carrying those forward. Just keep in mind that during day-to-day operation, they are required to be in compliance with things like defensible space. And when Zone 0 comes along, yeah, they'll be held to those as well.
Okay, yeah, I was just, that's what I wanted to hear about the defensible space, knowing, how the area is high risk, and that those are still being adopted and it's not being limited by what we have here.
Correct.
They are. Harbin Hot Springs has an extensive fire evacuation plan. They have employees that are trained to evacuate based on the severity of the emergency. They have all of these things in place that for in a catastrophic event. If they want to speak to that, they can.
Yes.
Good morning. Thank you for hearing our application. I just wanted to add that we are very aware of the fire risk. And I wanted to add that we graze 600 to 800 sheep a year to help with the surrounding area. They go on our hillsides and through our meadows.
Could you state your name, please?
I'm sorry, I'm Leah Jennings.
Thank you.
Could you repeat that last part that you said you guys?
So we have people, we train people, we do drills. We also use 600 to 800 sheep to graze through the canyon, and actually also outside of our front gate on Harbin Springs Road, from the Y, if you're familiar with that, all the way up to and past that area.
Thank you.
Thank you. Back to the commission. Other questions, comments?
My only question is, that just naturally arises, is where will the staff live? But I don't think I really have, I'm not, that doesn't enter into my decision-making, but I'm just kind of curious.
So the staff is primarily local, so they live in surrounding areas. And then we do have places for 36 or so staff members in properties that we own around Middletown. You're welcome.
Any other questions from Commission?
If I could put that in a little bit of context, Harbin Hot Springs was severely affected by the Valley Fire, and they turned right around and started working on rebuilding. We have worked with them through our planning processes and our building processes ever since then on the rebuild. And a site visit that the chief building official and I took, gosh, I guess it was months ago, huh? Just amazing how the thought and the planning that has gone in, not just for the comfort of their guests, but also for the safety of their guests in their rebuilding is very evident where we've gone through. And I was excited to hear that our chief building official was just out there. Maybe he's going tomorrow to take a look at the restaurant. So the progress and the recovery of this longtime asset of Lake County is definitely still ongoing.
Thank you. So I think if there are no other comments, ready to make a motion?
I'm ready to make a motion. I move that the Planning Commission find the major use permit UP 24-17 / PL 25-51 located at 18424 Harbin Springs Road, Middletown. The APN is 013-009-24 is categorically exempt from CEQA under the California Code of Regulations, Title 14, Division 6, Chapter 3, Article 19, Section 15301, Class 1, Existing Facilities, with the findings in the staff report dated February 12th, 2026.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Motion passes.
I further move that the Planning Commission find that the major use permit UP 24-17 / PL 25-51 by Harbin Hot Springs for property located at 18424 Harbin Springs Road, Middletown, APN 013-009-24 does meet the requirements of Section 51.4 and the Articles 15, 41, 43, and 53 of the Lake County Zoning Ordinance, and that the major use permit be granted based on the findings and subject to the conditions included in the staff report dated February 12th, 2026.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the applicant or any interested person is reminded that the zoning ordinance provides for 7 calendar days to appeal. If there are any disagreement with the Planning Commission's decisions, and appeal to the Board of Supervisors may be filed. Oh, the appropriate forms and application fee must be submitted prior to 5 p.m. on or the day before the 7th calendar day following the Planning Commission's final determination. Thank you. All right, we've come to the close of our agendized items, and do we have any non-timed items?
No.
Then we're at department updates.
Department update. Thank you. Maria Turner, Community Development Director. I'm so excited, but I'm going to leave my favorite part to the last. I would like to speak to the board regarding the tutorial sessions that we've talked about in the past. I would really appreciate it if, with the exception of the roads update, which Pam is still working on confirming with Director Ewing on getting that scheduled in our next meeting, because we said it was coming in February, and a cell tower specific tutorial regarding what does the law where does the law kind of hem you in, where is your discretionary authorities. With that, I would like to start with going over the planning commissioner's handbook chapter by chapter each meeting. That helps me because I don't have to create it from air and start over. And there's a lot in here that I think we can add specific to Lake County scenarios to help you put it in context. So if it's okay, that's how I'd like to start. We'll still get the cell tower because that was a high priority, and we'll still get the roads update because that was another high priority. And if there's another high priority that comes in, we can insert that as we go. But otherwise, I'd like to follow this for the next few months, just going through that together, if that's okay. I see some nods. Anybody against it? Excellent. Another announcement, I wanted to make sure you all know the California Natural Resources, something that starts with an A, is taking us through, I think it's a once a month webinar going through this book, We Are the Land, A History of Native California. And the author is available to take us through a chapter every session. So it goes from 12 to 1, and if you're interested, I'd be happy to send you the link to that because it's open to anybody who wants to learn. It's really good. Okay. And then, oh good, my favorite part. Do we have the PowerPoint? We're going to start with staff bios. It is understood that the Planning Commission relies a lot on staff doing our jobs competently and handing you well-vetted information because sometimes your decisions are very, very challenging. And so you have to know that the work that's going on is done by people that you have confidence in. We've never done a Meet Your Team before, but we thought we'd start today. And I'm so excited. I'm sharing it with like the board. I'm sharing it with everybody because Mary put these together and she did a great job. And we will have it up for you in just a moment. You should have access to the eDrive.
So while we're waiting, could I, a couple of questions?
Of course.
I believe that the cannabis regulations are going to go to the Board of Supervisors.
Article 27 goes on March 3rd.
Okay.
Yes.
So will we see it? I guess our input is done, but will we see that to see whatever, what the comments, our comments and the other comments that have been made, have any of them been folded in or how that's been processed?
The staff report will be available. I did include the Planning Commission recommendations when I went to the Agriculture Advisory Committee. So now the staff memo to the board will have the Planning Commission recommendations and then the Agricultural Committee's recommendations as well.
Okay, and that will be available with the packet that goes to the Board of Supervisors?
Yes.
And say again what the proposed date is for that?
March 3rd.
March 3rd, okay, thank you.
Can't remember if it's at 10 or at 1, but...
Okay. And then another question that's not exactly in our purview, but I think you had mentioned that there's a Hitch Summit on the 27th. Is that correct?
That is a government-to-government summit, I think. So that one is not open to the public. At least I'm not sure it is. We can text, but, maybe Commissioner Brown
No,
has.
I don't know. I was informed of that meeting, and I never received the actual location of
It's
where that
going to be
meeting
at
took
Twin
place.
Pine.
Okay.
And, because I just got to save the date. When is it? 25th, maybe? Yeah, it's on the 25th, Wednesday at Twin Pine, and it's a leadership summit, so not the same as a government-to-government, but
So then it's open then?
I don't know if it's open to the
Okay,
public.
to whom would I ask my question?
I am texting our Chief Climate Resiliency Officer and Tribal Liaison.
You have such a person?
We do. We are the first.
It's amazing.
We're the first county jurisdiction that actually has a county tribal liaison position.
That's fabulous.
First county in California. She's super smart.
Even better. Okay, and then we've been talking about housing, and we had our report on the county's report on housing, I have asked a couple times about a wonderment about the housing that's built next to the Kelseyville Post Office, and who is that? Is that federal government, or who did that?
Let's see if we can
And did
find
that
out.
come before the
Yeah,
Planning
ask.
Commission? And also, I got in the mail for an advertisement for Canocti Gardens. Now, this is down in Clear Lake. Looked like a similar project to the one next to the post office.
Cool.
Offering, I can pass that down to you, offering apartments available. I'm just wondering, in our conversation about, planning and housing and everything, how do some of these things fit into that? And it just came to us and the residents. Actually, we got two of them. So just
That's awesome.
just a general wonderment about that as we are moving forward and talking about housing and providing affordable levels of housing. So
Yes, I'm often asked about that project next to the post office. It's been under construction for a very long time.
And it looks like it's stopped for a while, but it seems like there's activity there again recently since I've been going by. Yeah.
So is that not something that's managed by your department?
Well, to a certain extent, it's overseen by the building division, but according to state law, in between inspections, you have up to a year to progress to the next inspection. It was just actually increased from whatever it was less than a year before that. So we're not on the ground managing it every day. We don't keep track of it like that. They interface with us just like every other building permit when we need to be there for inspections.
So is this a federally financed housing project for low-income housing?
You have asked me before. I'm sorry, I didn't.
It is advertised as low-income farming housing.
Oh, I understand
And
that,
it
but I
did-
just wondered, is it federally funded through like the USDA or just?
No idea.
And does that project have to come to the Planning Commission?
Yes. That project did come to the Planning Commission, both parts of it, both the currently under construction part and the development, the Kelseyville Apartments behind it, I think are the same developer, and they both came before this commission, before development.
Along with the required SWIPs, the stormwater protection plans, all of those things have been.
And so was it disclosed at that time, the funding source? I'm just.
It may have been, but I'm not entirely certain that that's a requirement.
If it's a federally funded project.
Yeah, I have no idea. You can check, I don't recall if they labeled it as Kelseyville Apartments at the time, but you can certainly check Granicus, because it would have come before the commission.
Who?
Oh, I'm sorry, the online
Our online public portal.
public portal that has the past meetings and the materials and the video and so on for the past meetings. But it was a number of years ago, so you'd have to do a search
I see.
for that,
Okay.
yeah.
So if a member of the public were interested in obtaining information, all public information about that project, to whom should that request be made in person? Say I don't have a computer, who would?
They could go on to our public portal for our OpenGov and just send in a Public Record Act request for information. If they don't have a computer, they could call us at 707-263-2221 or come to the counter at the third floor. We'd be happy to help.
Thank you.
My pleasure. I've just sent an email asking the question, and I will
Oh,
forward it to
thank you.
the commission as soon as it
Uh,
comes back.
That was my list of questions. Thank you.
Excellent. And the Hitch Summit is not open to the public, sorry.
Oh, it's not.
This particular one is only for leadership with decision-making authorities.
All right.
Would that include the planning commission?
Nope.
Would that include?
It'll include certain county staff, state staff, federal staff. I think, who do we usually see at those? Maybe some electeds.
The Farm Bureau, I think, has been invited before.
Cool. Okay.
So, okay. Thank you for that clarification.
My pleasure. Now, we can get to the high point of today's department update. Here is your team.
Oh.
Somebody start that slideshow. Huh? Yeah, go ahead. We're going to start with a face that is very familiar to you. Any second now. Yeah. Pam Miles. She is our Office Assistant 3, or otherwise known as the Clerk of the Planning Commission. She's a Healdsburg native, a graduate of Healdsburg High School. She has broad administrative experience across compliance, tax processing, customer service, and land use. She's managed burn permits in the past and smoke management programs, soil reports for public agencies, and is currently preparing the items for Planning Commission agendas as well as minutes. In her free time, she loves baking, reading, and hanging out with her family, and I can attest she has a very strong team support attitude. She has a gift for making people feel important, either through her cupcakes or through her jokes. And that is a gift. You can't train that. Next slide, please. Shelby, you can see Shelby at the counter. She's a planning technician in community development, and she brings a strong background in operations, coordination, and public service. She has 14 years of supporting people through complex processes. I think she came from the healthcare industry prior to this job. She does approach her job with empathy, organization, and a commitment to helping other community members navigate county services. If you go to the third floor, you'll notice that she is at our first window. So not only does she field planning questions, she kind of helps direct traffic, just like the people at Public Works do. Additionally, she's a professional singer, and you can hear her humming at the counter. I heard her as I was on my way down here today. It's a lovely accompaniment to the day's processes. Next slide.
I thought you were going to say you can hear her on Spotify.
Nope. Yolanda is a planning technician also. 4 years of experience with the county. She did start in Public Works, and I was so glad that she came over to our side of the floor. She has experience in land use, permit applications, and zoning. She's very strong in cannabis regulations, healthcare, and agriculture. And she brings technical accuracy and regulatory compliance. She's committed to public transparency, which is a core value of our entire department. And she's pursuing her bachelor's degree in urban planning and plans to become a planner at some point in the future.
Good.
Yeah, she's awesome. Next slide, please. Dan Bracati, he's our newest addition to the team, and I'm sorry I didn't drag him down here in person to be introduced to you. He is our resource planner, holds a bachelor's in geographic science with a minor in sustainable development from James Madison University and a US GIS certificate. He has technical expertise in GIS, remote sensing, and surveying, and he's fluent in Spanish and Italian. His work has focused on CEQA, is focusing on CEQA, so he's got a steep learning curve right now, learning the CEQA involved with grading and lakebed permits. His interest in local culture and environment is also a great asset to our team. And you can see him out and about because he's already gotten a bike and he's out exploring our trails. Next slide, please. Pablo. Yay. Pablo's an assistant planner. I just love our team. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to gush too much. I am toning it down, so I'm holding a lot in. Pablo holds a bachelor's in environmental policy analysis and planning, as well as a bachelor's in economics from UC Davis, and has an environmental specialist certification. He also has expertise in GIS, statistical analysis, CEQA review, and environmental planning, with experience in data management, regulatory compliance, and stakeholder communications. So that's another thing that's a core value to our floor is public outreach. As assistant planner, he prepares and reviews land use plans, conducts CEQA environmental reviews, coordinates tribal consultations, and assists the public and contributes to long-term planning initiatives, including the county's 2050 general plan update. He is bilingual in Spanish and leverages his technical and analytical skills to support effective community-centered planning. I have watched him communicate with the public in the years that he has been with our department, and I am just very, very thankful that his communications, particularly in writing, are well thought out, they're thorough, They cite the code and they just walk people through what their options are. And it's so valuable as a director to feel comfortable in the communications of my staff and to know I don't have to jump in for clarification. And Pablo is very strong in that area. Next one, please. Max Stockton. Doesn't he look like an actuary? Like, I want to just give him my money with this picture. He's an associate planner. He's been with us since 2022. He has been an associate planner, I think, I thought it was 2025, but apparently it's 2024. He manages a wide range of planning responsibilities, including zoning clearances, parcel maps, subdivisions. He's my subdivision guy right now with Valley Oaks and Gwinnett Valley. Use permits, CEQA environmental review, and he has had extensive CEQA training, and he's participating in this new thing from, I think it's CSAC, or is it RCRC? It's the Rural Planning Leadership Academy. So he's not the only one going through that, but it's such a great opportunity for our staff to network with other rural planners. He combines his background in architecture and hands-on construction experience with practical knowledge of project design, site and building plan interpretation, and commercial operations. He holds a certificate in construction fundamentals, bachelor's degrees in architecture and accounting, and a commercial driving license. He is a truck driver with heavy hauler, double, triple, and hazmat endorsements. Yeah, he can tell you some hairy stories about that job. This man definitely has grace under pressure, as we have seen in front of both the Planning Commission and the board. He's a valuable and awesome member of our team. And he loves to laugh, which helps keep the stress level down on the floor. Next slide, please. Trish Turner, associate planner. So she's been with us since 2019, starting at the counter. That's where I first met her, was she was helping me with just counter questions when I was on the other side of the counter. And she's a lifelong member of our community and has deep local knowledge that enters her work. That is something that I stress to our team every day, especially on the Lake County 2050 project. We have an outside contractor helping us, which they have great writers, but they're not Lake County experts. We're the Lake County experts. And so our team, including Trish, has been on the boots on the ground looking at our local area plans this whole time. Yes, her career reflects rapid professional growth, beginning as an office assistant and advancing to the first planning technician position that we ever had. Back since God was a boy, we never had planning technicians. We had 3 technicians up at the counter, and they were all building technicians. So it's really that new planning technician position has taken a lot of the time commitment off of the planners. So we were thankful for that position, but that didn't stop Trish. She went on to being an assistant planner 1 and 2, and is doing a great job now as an associate planner. She manages a diverse portfolio, including conventional and cannabis planning, ordinance implementation, and policy development. She has presented numerous projects to the Planning Commission and the Board of Supervisors. And like me, you can't tell that she's nervous. I'm nervous. I think it's normal to be nervous when we're up talking to the Planning Commission. It's heavy, but she does a great job. She holds a certificate in land use and environmental planning from UC Davis, has completed multiple CEQA trainings, and is also a member of the Rural Planning Leadership Academy. Combining technical expertise with extensive hands-on experience, she provides practical, community-focused land use planning for Lake County. Trish's gift also is to be very focused on mindfulness and lowering stress. And she does that both personally, and also it just sort of inspires the rest of our team. So she really helps our team to stay focused and sort of spread some zen around. Planning can be kind of stressful. We're managing and evaluating multiple conflicting criteria on any given project, and it's complex. So to be able to digest the project description as well as evaluate it through a lens of what the community wants for any given project can get stressful. And she does a great job of keeping us all grounded. Next slide, please. You wouldn't know it to look at the slide, but Mary Claiborne is a well-valued senior planner. This is her in her natural habitat, looking at the earth. She's a senior planner with our county, bringing a multidisciplinary background from criminal justice, tribal governance, land use planning, and emergency management. She began her career as a paralegal, specializing in felony criminal defense, later working in tribal government on housing initiatives, land acquisition, and emergency response, including establishing wildfire evacuation points and leading a COVID-19 food distribution program for tribal elders across 7 Northern California tribes. She joined Lake County in 2021, or County of Lake, as a planning technician and advanced through the assistant and associate planner roles to her current role as a senior planner. She now aids, and by aids, that's a nice way of saying she really helps me out a lot and supports the director in land use policy development, CEQA review, regulatory compliance, interdepartmental coordination, and stakeholder engagement. Her academic foundation includes 2 associate degrees in the administration of justice and business management, a bachelor's of business administration, and a master's of management and leadership. Mary's diverse experience and expertise inform her strategic evidence-based approach to planning, in advancing sustainable development, regulatory integrity, and public service. She also currently serves as the vice chair of the City of Lakeport's Planning Commission.
Oh.
And I can add that Mary is definitely a problem solver. She works a problem. She's solid in emergencies. She has trained with us to serve in not logistics, in planning and intelligence in our EOCs when they're activated. And I have no doubt that she's going to continue to grow in her leadership positions. I'm really hoping she sticks around and takes my place as director in the far distant future. Next, our next senior planner is Michelle Iris. She brings extensive experience in environmental planning, CEQA compliance, and resource management. Her bachelor's is in environmental studies and planning with a minor in biology from Sonoma State University, and she began her career protecting natural resources as a park ranger at Lake Mendocino and a fisheries field technician for the Sonoma County Water Agency. In 2011, she transitioned over to CEQA practice, obtaining regulatory permits and preparing environmental analyses for a wide range of projects, including renewable energy, telecommunications, restoration, parks, and housing development. I think that was for the County of San Diego, wasn't it? Yeah. She joined County of Lake in 2017 as a senior planner, supporting CEQA review, policy updates, and complex projects such as the Gwinnett Valley Development Project and Six Sigma Glamping. From 2018 to 2023, she served as planning manager for the city of Ukiah, overseeing daily operations, discretionary permits, advanced planning projects, and CEQA compliance. She returned to County of Lake in 2023 as a senior planner, providing senior level CEQA support, managing the resource planning program, and including lake bed grading, mining, and geothermal permits, and supporting the planning division management, workflow, agendas, and commission hearings. She also was one of our leads in developing and implementing our electronic permitting system, OpenGov. She was the lead for planning. She and Trish have been instrumental in getting that to the state where it is in now. Also, since 2017, she's been a really important part of our team. She has an extremely strong work ethic, like I have to hold her back. And she gives 110% no matter what she's doing, either 110% to the team, 110% to the family. Her child is one of the most well-documented children I've ever seen. I have followed him and received cam spam for years, ever since he first joined their family. And through Michelle, it actually kind of, I have to reflect on the balance that I do for my team and my family. You know, she's just always so present and there for who needs her. That I learn a lot, actually, in personal and professional balance from her, and have learned since 2017 when we first started working together. And lastly, there's me. This always makes me feel awkward.
Would you like me to read it for you?
Yeah, would you? Thanks.
In this photograph, Maria Turner is posed on Miley Field's ancient tractor that is currently in 4,000 pieces in her shop. Maria brings over 12 years of professional experience in municipal and regional planning. She has served as director of the Community Development Department since 2022, following 3 years in management and leadership roles with the city of Ukiah. Earlier, she held positions in the County of Lake as a planner in the Community Development Department and as clerk of the board in county administration. In addition to her professional roles, Ms. Turner has served as a member of the Lakeport City Council and as mayor, and has been a board member of the League of California Cities. She holds a Master of Public Administration, equipping her with expertise to lead community development initiatives, guide planning policy, and advance strategic goals for the county.
Thank you.
We hope that at the upcoming Pear Festival parade, Maria will again be riding Miley Field's tractor.
I hope so. That's like a high point of the year.
Part of Women on Track.
Along with
Right?
Chair Sharon Zoller.
Absolutely. I also have a bachelor's in history from Bryn Mawr. I love policy development. I'm just a policy wonk, and my focus for my master's in public administration was organizational leadership. I've always just really dug how complex systems work together. Either it's a deciding body or the way the government works together, the way people can work together and interface. My thesis was was tips and tools for gaining political capital in order to advocate locally for grassroots organizations. So it's been an honor and a privilege to serve in this position, and it's just something that I get to capture all of the things that I find really interesting in the same job. You know, like it's one of those things where you can't believe people are paying you to do this because it's so awesome. But thank you for paying me to do this. And it's just been a privilege and an honor to be part of such a dynamic team for as long as I have. So thank you very much. And that is your team.
Thank you for sharing it with us. I mean,
Pleasure.
we see these folks, and knowing some of the backstory, it just brings them more colorful, more to light, and appreciate it. And except for the one picture. Mary, you're so cute. We should see your face. Anyway, lovely. Thank you so much for doing this. Appreciate it. Anything else?
That concludes my update.
From updates, anything from the commission? All right, so then I will entertain a motion to close the meeting today. We don't need a motion? Oh. Thank you all.